Da 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 da. I was probably pretty off with that one. Anyway, I'm gonna turn that down so my ears don't get assaulted. Wow, that's loud for me. Anyway, yo, what's up? Also, why is everyone spamming? I literally just started. Why is this already happening? No, I'm probably. I don't want to have to time out people already. Alright, so we're gonna. Alright, buddy. Alright, that's enough. Anyway. Do a flip? I mean, like, I don't think I can do that without breaking something. I'm probably gonna hit my ceiling fan if I try doing that. Maybe. But I don't feel like testing that theory out. I'm good. I think I'm good. I'm nice and comfy right where I am. Well, is that a wild camera X I spy? I've not seen you in a very long time. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna do a flip, guys. Yo, what's good? How's it been? So, funny story, y'all. So, I kinda was supposed to record today, but it didn't work out. I ran into quite a few problems, mainly just me being or me not being able to figure out what I'm trying to do, because that is a very repeatable thing that happens a lot. Is I will record and then I'll tell myself, yeah, I got this figured out, and then I actually start recording, and then I'm like, well, frick, I don't like this. This is stupid. What do I do instead? like, cause here's the problem with the first episode of Phase 2. Here's the problem here. Here's the problem. The problem is that I have, like, the second half figured out. Like, I got this, like, or probably more than just half, but whatever. I have, I got a scene fully figured out for the most part. I have the, like, whole main area of the video kind of figured out. But then we got the beginning of it. The beginning of the episode is always what keeps making me just hate everything, because I keep recording it and I keep thinking, nah, this is stupid. Like, I can never make the freaking beginning without thinking that it's stupid, and I try redoing it. Trust me, that was what I did for almost the entirety of yesterday. That's what I was doing. I was like, alright, so I got, like, this being me yesterday, I got today and tomorrow to, like, record this. Alright, let's go. And then yesterday I basically redid the first, like, 10 minutes over and over and over and over and over and over again, because I could not be happy with it. I couldn't. And I was like, what the frick is this? Final Stand sequel gonna go and say, shut up. Shut up. We don't talk about the final yap. Okay, we do not talk about the final yap here. Anyway. Oh, ads? Yeah, I apologize. I know, they are scary. I apologize. I honestly kind of forget that streams give ads as well. I kind of forgot about that, I'm not gonna lie. I'm sorry. Anyway, let me read the chat a little bit, because I've been talking about the episode for a hot minute. Yo, what's good, Foxy Boy? Yo, what's good? The skeleton's trying to take your eyes. Well, don't let it. Just tell it no. That always works. Or use violence, because violence is always the answer. Anyway, no. But anyway, huh? Oh, no, you're fine. Just don't spam. That's all. Anyway. You'll try? Alright, bet. Anyway, but that episode, you know, I should probably put this up. But that episode is probably gonna be one of the most difficult ones for me to record as of right now, because all of the other, like, phase 1 stuff, from Let the Games Begin to The Cost of Faith, all of those were relatively easy to record. Yeah, it took me a bit of time to figure out plot, and then I was like, okay, I got plot down. But then realistically, I don't, like, I think I do, but I don't, and I record stuff a lot, or re-record stuff a lot. Blah, blah, blah. And, yeah. But this episode is a lot harder to record, I've realized. And it's not fun. I just want to get to the rest of the episode, but I gotta do the beginning portion. So, wish me luck with that. Because there's so many different plot points I've come up with, but I don't know which one I want to do. That's the problem, because I also have to figure out, okay, how do I want Chloe to act in the beginning of this? How do I want her to be? That's also another error, because I'm torn between two, how do I put it, ways that Chloe would be at the beginning. I don't know if I'd say 2 different personalities for her. Actually, I could put it that way. Probably 2 different personalities. It's just, whatever, it's just annoying. Anyway, here. Actually, you know what? Here, hang on. First, let me, move some things around. You know, actually, I can probably minimize that for now. I'm gonna pull up my good old friend, Gary's mod. It's gonna be random sounds, probably you might hear, because Gary's mod maps like making sound. What the heck? Oh, there it is. Alright, so, you know what? Since I'm feeling nice, I'll showcase some stuff that I had ideas for, because I can't even say if it's gonna be final or not, because I'm having trouble here. But anyway, so, if my map cannot lag, we got some beautiful stuff going on over here. If I can just turn this down, because why is this, like, feeling loud to me when it's, like, probably the quietest it can possibly be? Like, is it just me? Okay, you know what? I'm gonna make it a little louder for you guys. It should be good, right? Alright, so, we got some Nightmare Endos here, alright. Love to see him, love to see him. Also, very few people, because very few people here have probably actually seen my old AU. But I want to know if anyone, like, at all remembers this map. I'm even gonna go in here, because this is a very large hint. No, no, Ninja. No, no, no. No, no, no. No. Anyway. So, I have used this map before. I'm just very curious if anyone remembers this at all. Like, even one bit. I mean, if you haven't seen my old AU at all, or any of it, then you're probably not going to, I would assume. There you go, Emmerich. I knew somebody was gonna remember. To be honest, out of everyone that I know is in my current fan base, if anyone was going to remember what this map was, it was either gonna be Father Bench or Emmerich. I'm not gonna lie. It was either gonna be Emmerich or Father Bench, I'm not gonna lie. They're like the freaking goats of, like, who are still here after being through the chaotic mess of my old AU. And the time period between that AU and this AU. That was also a crazy time. Mid-2024 was something else. It was something else. Anyway. So we got this beautiful Golden Freddy man right here. And he has a sword. And if you're wondering, this is actually the same exact sword that you've seen Chloe holding before. So that's a very interesting key detail. So there's this man, and we got some Nightmare Endos, so if it's not obvious already, he's running from them. But then, I'm gonna take you to a trip through here. No, true full OG. I mean, I don't think anyone who still watches is gonna be a full OG, okay? Whenever people reference stuff from a video I made back in, like, 2021, I feel scared more than surprised. I just feel scared, because I'm like, how the frick do you know that? Like, because that's just scary when people reference stuff that happened when you had, like, barely a fan base, you know what I mean? It's, like, scary. Anyway, so we go into this room, and, you know, it seems empty, you know, it seems pretty empty. Wait a second. What do we got here? There's a pair of eyes in this corner. Why is there a pair of eyes in this corner? Freddy spells meet Freddy and spells. Oh, yeah, that. I completely forgot about that. I'm not gonna lie, that was one of the. Like, I remember one time when someone referenced Foxy turns into gold, and I was like, what the frick? How do you remember that? Bonnie gets amnesia. Freddy spells maybe just not interested in Gmod anymore. That's fair enough. The only reason I still do this is because, well, I kinda did promise, or at least I feel like I promised in AU to you, like, a proper story, and I feel like I should deliver that. And I'm trying. It's a rough process, especially when you don't have... Because I have the main idea of the whole AU from here to the end mostly figured out. It's just details. Details are always the things that are gonna be annoying to figure out, especially if you don't want to make the video boring. You gotta find some way to at least make it somewhat entertaining, so that way it doesn't feel like conversations are too dragged on, or one specific scene's too dragged on. It's annoying, because that's what I used to do in Freddy and his friends, like the OG Freddy and his friends and Freddy and his pals. I would, like, have one scene go on for like 10 minutes, but no one complained back then. No one cared, which is why that happened a lot. Never go back to the old ones? That's fair. The old ones, like, the thing is that you would have to be extremely dedicated to get through all of those. Because all of them are at, like, around an hour long each. And that's just because of how long certain scenes just tend to last, for no reason. Because no one complained about it, so I didn't think I was doing anything wrong, because no one was complaining at all. But then, in fact, like, if I had a video less than 30 minutes long, people would be concerned why it's so short. They'd be like, bro, why is this episode so short? But then, the Final Stand came out, and that's when people changed their opinions, because the Final Stand basically took that from, like, 10 to 100, because so many scenes were dragged out for, like, half an hour. And yeah, that's when people started to just finally snap and be like, yeah, no. And then ever since then, if a scene dragged on for more than a few minutes, they would start getting bored. So I think that's what the final stand definitely pushed me into this sense I have now, where I actually, like, instead of just recording the whole thing in one day like I did with the old AU, I actually take, like, a week to fully focus on it and figure everything out. Red Bear. Yes. That was a very, very long time ago. That was, like, late 2020, early 2021. What did happen to them? They didn't appear in the final. Wait, hang on. Who? Shadow. Are you talking about Shadow Bonnie or something? If you're talking about Shadow Bonnie, well, in the old AU, he was dead. He died in the old AU. Spoiler there, but Shadow Bonnie died. Oh, Red Bear and White Rabbit. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought you were piggybacking off of, like, another, like, message I saw. Anyway, sorry about that. Red Bear and White Rabbit. So, the thing with Red Bear and White Rabbit, it's funny because so this was before the final stand. This was, like, right before the grand finale, if anyone remembers that. So Red Bear and White Rabbit appeared, like, a while before the grand finale. They were there for a good while. Up until one episode, I think it was called Resurrecting Golden Freddy, where they just kind of disappeared. And then, I'm not gonna lie, I forgot that happens after that episode. So, in the grand finale, I didn't mention them at all. And then I realized, oh wait, these guys were supposed to be for something, weren't they? I forgot. I just forgot about them, honestly. And so later, in Freddy and His Friends, I was like, okay, how about this? I'm going to have them, like, be here, but they're not... I'm gonna find a purpose for something here. So what I did was, I had their bodies, like, somewhere in the, Oblivion space back in the day, and I had two shapeshifters shapeshift into Red Bear and White Rabbit, and they kind of pretended to be Red Bear and White Rabbit for the course of, like, the end phase of the OG Freddy and His Friends, where Freddy was trying to find all of his friends to reunite them. The shapeshifters pretending to be Red Bear and White Rabbit were, like, a big part of that. But yeah. Did Assassin's Ring Bonnie have a tragic backstory causing him to be today? Also, I'm sub. 1, peak, and 2, he does have a interesting backstory. He does. He definitely does. And there's a reason why he's the way he is. There is. But anyway, yeah, I also wonder who this could possibly be. Oh, hey, would you look at that? I knew it. I love the fact that her eyes just glow, so you just see just glowing eyes in the darkness. That's what I like about her. And also, I like this room because, like, all the walls are, like... You have to stand in, like, the center in order for light to illuminate, which can also be annoying. But it's kind of cool. Like, you have to stand, like, dead center. Like... Or you can be by the door. But, like... I kind of like this. Once binged your Freddy's Palace from the Lost FNAF story and on from there. If you did do that, I feel bad for you. I would not wish that upon my worst enemy. Because why do you look scared in the trailer? He looks scared because something happens. And that specific thing that happens led him down, like, a series of things. And eventually he did turn out the way he did. Now, I will say, Nightmare Eon does actually have part in why he's the way he is. Nightmare Eon does have part in that. thought Foxy was gonna have a fourth kid. Oh my god. If he did, that would have been wild. You know what's actually hilarious? So, in the comments of... Here, hang on. I'm probably gonna turn off my game capture or something, I don't know. But hang on, I gotta pull up something. Alright, hang on, let me pull up the main channel, and let me turn off my game capture. I don't... Does it not... That's so weird, hang on. Hang on. I find this very weird. So for some reason I get a black screen whenever I'm trying to show something that's not my game. Which I don't really understand, but whatever, I don't really need to show you anything, but I can just explain it. I thought it would have been easier if I showed it, but it's whatever, because apparently it doesn't like me, so hang on, let me... Okay, there we go. Anyway, so, as I was saying, fun fact, in the comments of the video where Liam was first introduced, I think it's Foxy's new son or something like that. So basically, the comments of that video, someone said, I swear if they have another kid, I'm gonna start screaming. And then, shortly after the episode where Chloe first was brought into the AU came out, so Foxy's daughter, whenever that video came out, I went back to the comments of that video. Why, I don't remember, I just did. And I saw that same comment, and someone replied to it, and it was very recent, and it said, start screaming. And I laughed. I laughed so hard. That's literally the comment. It's someone saying, I swear if he has another kid, I'm gonna start screaming. And then, right after Chloe arrived, someone replied with, start screaming. It was hilarious. I actually think... Wait, did I take a screenshot of that? Oh, I think I could actually show you that. Hang on. Wait, hang on. Okay, I'll answer questions in a second. I'm sorry. I'm like dead set on finding this now. Whenever I talk about something, and then I want to know something, I have to know it. Like, I have to, like, stop everything to figure out what it is. Or else it's gonna drive me insane. I think it's in here. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Is this it? Is this it? Is this it? Please, 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 please. Yes! Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to add an image, because for some reason I can't share my freaking display. I can only share my game capture. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab the image this way, and it's gonna go here, and it is... Which one is it? This one. I'm gonna zoom it up. See what I mean? Yeah. So, the top comment, this is when Liam was first introduced, and the reply was right after Chloe was introduced. I find that comment, I find that hilarious. Just like, the fact that someone came back to that comment and replied to them, is just, I don't know why, I just find it hilarious. Because, yeah, like I said, the comment was made when Liam was introduced, and the reply was made when Chloe was introduced. It was hilarious. I don't know why I find that so funny, I just do. Anyway, hey, it's just the One Piece from Jim Muffin. Yeah, probably. Oh, Bonnie stole Monty's legs. When did that happen? Who? What? Anyway, I'm sorry. Some of these questions were probably from forever ago. Anyway, I'm gonna get rid of that so that way it's not in my face. There we go. Wait a minute. But is Chloe gonna have a kid? Well, you'd have to think. How would that... Because you'd have to think, okay, if that happens, then... Like... that's like a confusing question, because, like, at least you're thinking, like, how? Because then you'd have to think, okay, then who the frick would the other parent be? And then you gotta... That's something you gotta think of. Because there's not that many characters that we are aware of that it could be. Ninja... You're... Oh, yeah. Alright. Thank you for your complaint. I'll be sure to keep track of that. Sir, if you have a complaint, please put it in the... Please... What did he say? What's the meme? Sir, if you have a complaint, please put it in the suggestion box or something. I don't remember what the heck he said. I don't know if any of you know what meme I'm referencing, but anyway. Listen, adoption is always possible. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Wait, I proved that? Wait, hang on. Who did I prove that with? Wait, hang on, frick. Who's adopted? Oh god. I'm sorry, even my own AU hurts my brain, okay? The old AU is just a very weird thing. I can't remember things like that. Which one of them are technically adopted? Oh, right! I forgot about that. I forgot the plot line from the old AU that Toy Foxy was adopted by, like, Shadow Freddy and the Star Toy Foxy. I completely forgot about that. Because I don't know if I followed that with this AU, because I don't think I said anything about that at all. I don't think I did. So you could make the argument that they're still adopted, or if they actually are their parents. It doesn't matter anymore. Because technically this is a different storyline, so... So, that could happen. That could happen. That'd be very interesting if that happened, I'll say. But, before that, I feel like, even if that were to happen, I feel like there should still be some character development scene with Chloe first. Because, like, Chloe still hasn't even gone through any character development just yet, because... Let's see, what happened to her? So... because so far, the only things that's really happened to Chloe is, like, she's... okay, she's brought to the pizzeria, whatever, Antonio doesn't like her, and then, Antonio kind of, attacks her and, throws her into a dumpster. And then she ends up getting kidnapped, and then, she's brought back, and then she goes through that Christmas, special thingy with, Freddy, whatever. I think they, like, chased for reindeer or something, I don't remember. And then, Let the Games Begin happens, and then Freddy died, and then also, I guess, spoilers, but I'm just gonna assume most of you have already seen all these episodes by now. Those who care about the AU, at least. And then Cost of Faith. Ended up having no importance. Are you talking about are you still on the, Shadow Freddy and Toy Foxy adoption thing? Are we still on that? Because I don't know when you sent that message, so I'm, like, trying to backtrack here. Are we still on that? Okay. Alright, just want to double check. So, don't ask, I wouldn't ask me why I did things I did with the old AU. Here's one. Here's one reason I can give you why I ended it when I did. is because long time ago, well, not that long time ago, but like early 2023. Okay, maybe it is that long ago. Oh my god. Anyway, early 2023, I made a poll asking when people would like the ending to finally come with like Oblivion attacking and everything. I had 3 options. I think it was 1, a couple months, 2, a year, and 3, a couple years. And a couple months got most of the votes, but I was like, I don't actually think I would want to do that, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't think they were gonna vote for that. I don't even know why I listed it as an option. So I decided to meet in the middle and make it a year. So early 2023, I decided about a year from now, we'll have the series ended. So I stuck with that. In fact, I'm pretty sure I knew the exact day I wanted to release the final stand by like the summer of 2023. I'm pretty sure I already knew. I already knew how like the final stand went through some massive changes over like the months of like what was gonna happen. Trust me, there was a lot of canceled ideas. It was wild. One idea was that for those of you, also, I mean, I don't think anyone cares about spoilers by now. No, like this storyline isn't even really relevant anymore anyway. But or sort of. But originally Antonio and Liam were supposed to survive to the final stand. They weren't supposed to die beforehand. Another one was that Freddy wasn't going, like, how Freddy died, like, the powers he was given wasn't going to kill him, and actually there was going to be some way where him and Oblivion both lose their powers, and it's more of just a straight up, like, fight without powers. There was a lot of different ways I was doing it. Hello, Hamza the Hedgehog. But yeah, the old AU was a very interesting, confusing thingy. It was. It was very confusing. And I didn't have plans for specific things up until I decided them. One specific thing was Scarlet. Scarlet wasn't even thought of until like one time, or probably like August or something, maybe even September, where I, 2023, where I was looking at some saves that y'all made for me, and I found with this one save where it had the original style glam rocks, but like with the Ultimate FNAF Pack glam rocks, and I was like, wait, I have an idea. And so what I did is I decided to pull out the Roxanne, or Ultimate FNAF Pack Roxanne, and I put the OG FNAF 1 style Roxanne textures onto her, and I gave her Monty's eyes, so that's why her eyes are red. And I created Scarlet. And within probably a couple days, a week, there was the episode Foxy's Quest to Get the Milk, which is actually where that meme of Michael saying fatherless figure comes from. Because I don't know how many of you remember that, but I still have that image saved to my computer. I still have it. I still have that screenshot of just Michael pointing and laughing, saying fatherless figure. I still have it. But it's iconic. And then obviously Roxanne's sister comes to the pizzeria, blah blah blah. Also, I had this dumb idea at one point for you. The Ultron could have survived and everything and happened that would just been an aftermath. Yeah, like, there were so many different plans for how everything was gonna end. And, there was actually supposed to be aftermath for the final stand with, Golden Foxy and Rose. Because Rose still existed back then. Rose was still a concept. Because I thought of Rose, like, a long time ago, but I never really thought of the idea of actually having her become a character until eventually a dupe was made. Someone made a dupe for me of a concept idea for Rose, and I was like, wait, this actually looks sick, because I didn't know how to make custom dupes yet. I do now, but, like, back then I had no clue. So they made that for me. So someone made that for me. And then I was like, wow. So that's where Rose came from. And Golden, Foxy, and Rose were supposed to be the main two protagonists of the Aftermath of the Final Stand. I was going to have the first Aftermath episode be focused on Golden Foxy. And it was still going to be the same plot line where he meets Eye Above, like how he does at the end of the Final Stand. He meets Eye Above, and Eye Above actually makes him the leader of the galaxy, since Princess and Shadow Candy are dead. And all the other leaders are just kind of dead. So, and then there's going to be that plot line, and the Golden Foxy was supposed to resolve the conflict between the humans and animatronics. And then Rose was going to have the second episode where she's still captured, and then eventually she does escape, and then she finds out Roxanne's dead because, remember from, I forgot the name of the episode, but, the episode where where Antonio and Liam die right before the Final Stand. I can't remember the name of it for the life of me. I should remember it, but I don't. Anyway, 5 hours. I'm an hour-long video and forgot my ways to fix it. So, I don't know how I made that thing 5 hours. Also, hi, Bon. I don't know how I did that. Okay? Originally, it was like almost 7 hours. It was like 6 hours and 45 minutes. I edited it down to 5.5 hours. But still, it was insane. But that's because certain scenes would drag on for so long. To the point where it was like, bro, like, it was wild. And eventually I was like, okay, that's why I don't do that anymore, and I actually try to keep all my scenes as short as possible, and don't, well, not as short as possible, but short enough to where they're not dragging on. Like, I'm really trying to prevent doing that again. Anyway, so I can actually explain a little bit to y'all because I'm so nice. But basically, the idea that I had, that I tried recording over and over and over and over again, but kept failing to do correctly because I didn't like it. This guy was supposed to be running from these night randos. He runs, and then he ends up hiding in here. He goes in here, and then he'll be looking around, seeing if he can find anything to use, whatever, blah blah blah. Then he comes over here, and he's gonna see Chloe, but obviously he just sees eyes. He can't actually see her, because it's dark. And there's multiple versions of this, but he tries, like, talking to her a little bit, but then she tries running away, and then he stops her, because if she tries running out there, she's probably just gonna get herself killed, because the night randos are still out there. So then it's just a back and forth of them just trying to find some middle ground, and then eventually Chloe comes into the light, and then he sees that it's just a kid. Because, like it or not, Chloe's, at least to other animatronics, Chloe's still seen as, well, a kid. Because she's still very, 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 very young. She's not like a child, but she is seen as a kid. Anyway. So that was that. And yeah. Bon. Yeah, I'm not even gonna say anything. Anyway. But yeah, so the beginning plot is very difficult to figure out. And it's kind of annoying. So, I'm not gonna lie, the first episode might have to be pushed to next weekend because I have a lot of figuring out to do, because this episode hurts my brain a lot, and I've tried to figure it out, but I keep, like, not liking what I'm coming up with. And I don't like pushing it to, like, farther away, because I don't like making y'all wait longer than I already have. But I also don't want to give y'all something that sucks. So chances are this is probably gonna have to be pushed to next week. Because I need more time. I just need it. The only reason why I had to push it, like, from last week to this week is because I actually had other things that I was doing, like, the entire weekends and a little bit of the week, too. But in terms of, whatchamacallit, in terms of, like, this week, it's mainly just because I'm trying to record it. I really am, but it just keeps flopping. And I don't like it. So I have to, like, take time to figure everything out fully, so that way I can just record it just like that. But yeah. Anyway, I wish it wouldn't only make me show freaking Gary's mod, and I could actually show, like, my desktop. Can I do that? That'd be amazing if I could do that. Wait. Oh! I got it. Yo, we figured it out. Let's go. Yo. I'm actually gonna close out a few things. No, I'll close out of that. Oh, no, I can't close out of my boy. I can't close out of my boy. That's my boy right there. Also, I'm gonna steal this tab so I can still look at my stream. Because I feel like the thing with Overshadow was supposed to be like the end of the world, but I don't get it. It's like a war approach. Everybody seems to be trying to get away from somebody. The cool text on your video thumbnails. It's literally just it's just a style of text, I think, but that's really it. But yeah, like, the thing with, like, Overshadow, Oblivion, whatever, like, the thing with Oblivion is that he was more just, like, he was more power hungry, if anything. Oblivion just wanted to be on top. He just wanted to be on top. That was mostly with Oblivion. He was just very, very power hungry. And, like, I mean, like, because if we remember, it was that one guy who, whatchamacallit, it was that one guy who caused Oblivion to start thinking like that, if we remember. Where did it go? Okay then. Anyway. But, I was thinking of something, but then I forgot. Here, I'm actually gonna... Let me see something here. Hang on. Okay, oh my god, I completely forgot about that. Yeah. It's fire. It's fire, okay. Anyway, you get no more context. You get no more context. It's just fire. Anyway. Assassin's Ring Bonnie is there. Does that mean Springtrap does not exist? Well, Assassin's Ring Bonnie isn't the only Spring Bonnie, that's the thing. Because when you really think about it, there is a lot more Spring Bonnies, meaning that there's more than likely a lot of Springtraps out there. He's not, like, you could argue that he's the OG Spring Bonnie. You could make that argument. You could. But at least you could only make that argument in terms of this, like, of this galaxy, because, or this timeline, same thing, galaxy timeline, I mean the same thing. But, because in an alternate timeline, it's like, it could be completely different. But in terms of this one, because Assassin's Ring Bonnie is definitely from, like, long time ago. Well, because there is no official Springtrap. It's more of just because Assassin's Ring Bonnie is seen as, like, because he's definitely a lot older, because he's been around for a good while. I mean, he's been around since, like, the time that humans were, like before humans were even discovering that animatronics were even alive. Which was actually a long time ago. Because in this timeline, if you notice, like, humans don't really show up that much. It's mostly just animatronics now. Like, it's like the humans went extinct. Yeah. Like, the last time we've probably seen actual humans is probably, like Rescue Mission, where, like, Chloe gets kidnapped and then they go to get her back. That's probably, like, the last time we actually saw humans, I think. Well, technically we saw the freaking, like, Santa Claus in the freaking, whatchamacallit, the Reindeer Chase, the Christmas special. But, oh, Edward ended up evil twice. Hang on. Well, yeah, because in the old AU, Ennard was the main antagonist for a period of time. He was, the Freddy and His Pals movie antagonist, and then, I think he was the first one where it actually showed emphasis on, like, how widespread his attacks were. But in terms of that, like, because in this timeline, Ennard isn't really evil. He's more on that side, just, like, mainly because he can't exactly leave. Because, like, he would have joined that before it started going the way it did. Anyway, so any idea where there would be this twist villain who'd help? I was using maybe roll. It turns out he's villain something there. Turns out he's a villain. That sounds familiar, but I feel like I've done that a lot of times, so I'm trying to figure out which time. I mean, that sounds familiar to me to Rockstar Foxy from, like, the latest episode, but Maybe it's also someone else, so... Oh my god. Yeah, oh, we're taking trips down memory lane now. Oh boy. Oh. Oh! I've finally learned us a family. Oh. 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 No, no, no. The search for time traveling Foxy, the great escape. Oh, I'm getting hit with nostalgia. Oh. Wait, hang on. Which one is the... Bro. Wait, hang on. I gotta see this. Oh my... Oh. Foxy's quest to the milk is 2 years old. No, 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 no. 2 years ago. Oh, reference to Oblivion? Oh, right, because with Overshadow, I completely I forgot about that. With, like, Oblivion tricking Overshadow and then corrupting him. I kind of low-key forgot. Because it's been a while. It's been a while, so, like, there's stuff about my old AU I might, like, briefly forget. Oh, speaking of which, the corruption, there it is. But, oh my god. Oh, no! 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 Roxanne's secret. Oh, god. That episode hurt me. Roxanne's dead. No, no. That's weird seeing these again. Foxy and Roxanne's wedding. Roxanne versus Mangle. Oh, Friends versus Pop Goes. Tony and Liam's other girl, Cypher. Delay. Foxy's new son. Yo. So there's Liam's introduction. So actually, hang on, we skipped Chloe's introduction, didn't we? Yeah, there she is. Yeah, Foxy's daughter. So that was the first time we saw Chloe. And then... First time we saw Liam was here. And then the first time we saw Antonio was... Oh boy. Come on. Come on, YouTube page, you got this. There's Resurrecting Golden Freddy, but... First time we saw Antonio was... here. Ugh. God. Ugh. Long time ago. God. It feels so weird seeing these older videos again. Oh god, that was the first time we ever saw the princess. Freaking Afterlife episode. I don't think I consider that one canon, mainly because it goes along the plot line of like the FNAF timeline, and I didn't like that because that means, oh my god, like, what? Anyway, then that means that the FNAF 1 gang would have been possessed by like the ghosts of kids, kind of like how FNAF timeline is. And that sounded fine, but then I also realized that would not be, because I didn't think about this back then, but after a little while I was like, wait a minute, that doesn't sound right, because when we think about like Foxy, then it's like, wait, no, that doesn't sound right. Yeah, we're not making that canon. I am very glad I did not make that canon. I'm so glad. Oh my god, Night of Living Cupcake. Oh my... Yo... Glamrock wanna get shattered. Glamrock Foxy's brother comes to be hurt. Bro, the glitch. Oh my god. Spells find Foxy, I'm sorry, I'm like getting hit with so much nostalgia right now, it's unreal. Foxy X-Rock, oh my god. Slightly copy German Foxy, last video, Golden Freddy and Friend, Golden Toy Freddy and Friends, sorry. Ah, you're good, I don't really care. You're fine. What happened to William Afton? The basement. Yo. Oh my god. The genie. The funny thing about the genie is that this entire video, I think, was suggested in a comment. So I just made it into a video. This wasn't even my idea. I got a comment, someone suggesting this to me, and I was like, you know what? I'll do that for you. And I made their suggestion into a video for them. Because I didn't get that many comments back then. At least I don't think I did. Which one was the first episode you ever saw? The genie? Or is it something else? Freddy and his pals versus Glitch Trap. If an alpha said Squid Game. Foxy turns into gold. 31 Nights of Jackal, Foxy. Oh no. Is that enough for Foxy Chica? Oh, not the P&G thumbnails. No. Freddy and his pals versus Evil Spring Bonnie. The final ending. Oh yeah, the final ending. The final ending. Yeah. 4 years ago. I told you. Oh, Glimmer Foxy's brother. Oh, I'm sorry. When's your next video coming out? Well, right now it's not looking that it's going to be able to come out this weekend. So, I should be able to get it out next weekend. Alright? So next week. I mainly started watching you when you introduced Glitch Trap. I mean, I've seen you before, but I just so glad people like you. Yeah. Oh, the FNAF World gameplay, Final Songs Maniac Mania, Minecraft Survival. Oh, that was when I had my freaking laptop. I mean, I still have it, but it's like an ancient piece of it's like an ancient relic right now. Like, that thing still thinks it's 2023. Anyway. The Withers versus the Toys. I think this is when I was trying out the OG like gore mod or something. I don't remember. 1,000 sub special. Oh my! Freddy and his pals find a home. It's the OG. It's the OG. It's the first of everything. Oh my god. Oh, Red Bear's Christmas Party, Christmas Special 2020. Bro. Evil man destroys everything. Oh, I just scrolled through my entire channel. Oh my god. Dude. This is wild. The P&G thumbnails go crazy though. Freddy Bear and his friends get replaced. The Unlimiteds are under attack. It's time for new generation. So basically, I guess this was mostly just my own version of like 5 Lost Nights at Freddy's. Where I just made my own version of it, I think. That's when I started this, like, this story. And then Fredbear's story, these 3 episodes kind of piggybacked off that, and then Red Bear's story piggybacked off that. So, and then it went up to here, and then we got Freddy and his pals. So I don't consider, and now I just consider, like, the Lost FNAF story, episode 1, all the way up to here. So this all the way to here, I just consider this not canon because it just feels like it's messing me up. So I just say none of, like, I consider all of this like the Lost FNAF story up to here. I consider all that the Lost FNAF story now, but I just don't say it's canon because it just confuses me too much. Yeah, there's a lot of videos where it was said to be the final, but it was mostly like the finale of that specific story, because then I would start up like something like Freddy and his pals afterwards. God, like Freddy's pals find a home, meet Shadow Freddy and Shadow Bonnie, and the secret bunker. They get kidnapped. Freddy's pals versus Baldi. I remember this happening because Freddy like made fun of Baldi for being bald, I think, and that's why he hated them. I think that's what started that. Freddy is lost. Oh my god, the withered Bonnie with the fridge on his back. Oh my god, I forgot about that, dude. Yeah, that's where he came from. Freddy's pals in Among Us. Freddy's pals get stuck on the Golden Gate Bridge. Golden Freddy, Shadow Freddy visit missing Texture Land. I remember this originally going to be Golden Freddy and Shadow Freddy get a job, but the map had like all missing textures, so I decided to make a video just out of that, because yes. Freddy's pals say goodbye to their home. Freddy's pals get kidnapped by 7-Eleven. Freddy escapes 7-Eleven. Freddy's pals escape 7-Eleven. Shadow Bonnie's funeral. I forgot about that. Freddy vs. Foxy. Oh, the first episode of Toy Freddy and Friends. Toy Freddy and Friends find a home. Detective Foxy. Shadow Bonnie's soul discovers the past. I don't consider that canon. There's a lot of Freddy and his pals that I just don't consider canon anymore because it just makes more sense to not be canon. Oh, hi, GJ. This is Withered Foxy, not a replacement for Temporary Foxy anymore. No, I feel like I'd still go along the line that Time Traveling Foxy was the Withered's Foxy, and Withered Foxy was added later on, but like, okay, look, that timeline is so confusing. That's why I don't really like trying to think about the entire old AU timeline, because it was so confusing. The new one I try to keep as not confusing as possible, at least as much as I can. And, like, there will be, like, you know, a little bit of old AU sprinkled in there. You'll see what I mean. But, like, not too much to the point where it's gonna hurt my brain. Oh my god. Seeing all these videos, though, just feels, like, weird. The golden days. Spawning all my FNAF ragdolls until my game crashes. You know, that's the OG version of spawning all of my FNAF ragdolls. It's the OG version. Because I remember doing that a long time ago. And then I ended up doing that again. Here. Spawning all my FNAF ragdolls. And then I did a sequel to that last year. Where is it? Here it is, spawning all my FNAF ragdolls again. And it was an hour shorter than the previous one. That's wild. Oh, I kind of just now realized you didn't have mod, I'm not gonna lie. No, I got you. Something that he would have liked so much more if you kept going like you did Freddy's Pulse. I feel like everything would have been done and you could have ended it. The thing is that the whole reason why I felt like I needed to do something more was because of how terrible the final stand was. I was like, yeah, no, I can't leave on that note. And also, I also the aftermath of the final stand, I didn't have enough ideas to really go that far. I could make like 2 episodes and then I would be so confused on what to do after that. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna like, originally I was like, you know what? I'm gonna restart. I'm gonna start back from the beginning. We're gonna start up a new story and try like something better. And then I got up to like the first like 6 episodes, I think, and then I was like, frick, I'm running into the same problem again where I don't have any ideas anymore. And it was getting on my nerves. And eventually I made The Hidden Truth, which connected that to the old AU, and then Freddy. So like, you could technically just start from The Hidden Truth and skip all of this right here. You could skip all of that and just start from The Hidden Truth, because the only context you're not gonna have is like how, I don't know, why the Glamrocks are there or something, and like who the Antonio kid is. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the only context you're not gonna have. Like, you could literally just start from The Hidden Truth. You could. Anyway. Father Bench! Yo! Let's go! Father Bench! Yo! The legendary Father Bench 844. This video was clearly trapped in the future of Freddy's, where nothing in the so-called future came true. Oh yeah, bro, that was the best episode, trust. How do I'm trying to skip her? Oh no. No, do not bring back that. Don't bring back that. Oh no. Don't bring back that question, please. I remember being asked that so many times in like 2023, and I was like, why are you asking me this? Why? Don't ask me, I don't know. They just spawn in. Yeah, the female animatronics have 3D printers in their stomachs. They have 3D printers in them. That's how. I remember that starting, the whole 3D printers thing. I remember that starting a long time ago, where it was one of these 2 episodes. It was either Foxy's daughter or the story of Roxanne Wolf. But some people were asking how that can even happen, and then I remember someone responding with, they have 3D printers in them. And that became like a thing on my channel for like a long time. There was a couple trends on my channel that like were there for a while. One of them being just put her down with like Roxanne and that one Shadow Droid. I remember that was one that lasted for a while. Just put her down, okay. Another one was the 3D printers thing, and I think there was a couple more, I just can't really remember right now. When Fazbear Band Season 2, oh god. I don't know if Fazbear Band's gonna continue or not. I don't know what's going on. I have no clue. No clue. Anyway. When do I think I'm gonna quit? That's an interesting question. Oh. Whenever I feel like I've done what I wanted to do. I mean, as of right now, the only thing I have left for Gmod FNAF, at least right now, is just the AU. Once the AU is over, I don't know when I'm gonna, if I'll do much Gmod content at all after that. I don't know what I'll do with the main channel on it, so I might just switch over to a different form of content, maybe. But then I'm probably gonna lose some people, like what happened with, you know, me uploading SFM animations to the main channel, along with Gmod, because then that pushed a lot of Gmod watchers away. Make Freddy... No. Romantic relationships and where people think it's cringe. Here, hang on, I got clear my throat because it's driving me insane. Alright, I failed to do so, but it's whatever. Anyway. So, the thing with that is that, fun fact, back in like late 2021, I tried staying away from ships as much as possible. To the point where if I did collabs and the other person even said the word girlfriend, I would actually low-key get mad at them. Because I was like, bro, no, we don't do that here. No. And the only reason why I ended up doing something like Foxy and Roxanne was because whenever Valentine's Day for 2022 came around, I was like, man, I don't have anything to do. And then I was like, you know what? Let's find 2 random characters and make them a thing just so I can make a Valentine's Day special. And obviously one of them is going to be Foxy, obviously. And I think the reason why and the other one ended up being Roxanne was just because I didn't want to ship Foxy with Chica. I think that was mainly just the reason. Because Roxanne just seemed like the person that just worked the most. I feel like Freddy has a ton of plot armor back then. Well, that's the funny thing, is the fact that, like, Freddy, back then, the amount of times Freddy has, like, well, I don't know how many times Freddy died back then, but at least twice. At least twice. And like, Freddy just, yeah, he had a lot of plot armor. And then, but in this AU, Freddy's not the protagonist anymore, so obviously, you know, obviously, so what happened, because he lost his plot armor. He's not the protagonist anymore. Ship Foxy and Foxy Boy. Look, Foxy's my homie, but not like that. Not like that. Make Freddy go through the most extreme torture for fun. Yo, okay. Bet. I'm just kidding, I'm just kidding. I mean, he can't really go through that much torture anymore. He's dead. But that would be kind of funny. Anyway. Why did Bonnie become so important towards the end? I felt like he was important, but not like as important. Assuming you're talking about the old AU. Bonnie was like, he wasn't seen as that important per se, but he was Freddy's, like, closest and best friend. He was shown a little bit of importance from time to time. Like, The Great Escape, you know, obviously he's the one who convinced Freddy to finally let them off the stage and not force them to be on the stage anymore. And it kind of changed Freddy a bit. And obviously he played a pretty great importance in stuff like, obviously Freddy finds Bonnie, obviously. But, I can't remember all of them because there's so many goddamn episodes, but Bonnie played an importance in quite a few, I feel like. Yeah, I'll just bite the bullet. It comes so with my character stopping kids will be interesting for sure. Did pose about twice or cringe. Will nightmares return? Or will Nightmare return? The nightmares in Nightmare himself, that could definitely happen. Because I have not used the nightmares yet in this storyline. I have not used them yet, and there's a reason. I'm trying to not use that many characters because I want to save as many as possible so that way I can have them for later along the line when I need characters. Because as you know, I use a lot of side characters. I do. I use a lot of characters for, like, their only purpose is just for that specific episode and that episode alone. So obviously, I need to make sure I'm not using too many so that way I have more left over. That's why I barely use any of the actual Fun Times yet. Like, I don't think I've used Funtime Freddy or Funtime Foxy. I don't think I used either. I mean, I didn't use Circus Baby. I did use Yep though. Obviously, I used Edward. I have not used a good chunk of, like, FNAF 6, like the mediocre melodies. I think the only one for the mediocre melodies I've used is Pig Patch. Obviously I've used the rock stars. But yeah. Bonnie shouldn't be important because he doesn't have eyebrows. That's actually wild. Are you Foxy Boy? Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. Afton's Tragedy? Okay, well, yeah, in the old AU I have used her. But in the current one, I have not. So if I could talk without my throat randomly clogging, I don't know what the frick is happening there. Hang on. Anyway, will you clap with X-Men? Already did. But, dude, I'm not gonna lie. Even though the AU obviously wasn't as good, well, in my opinion, the AU wasn't as good as, like, the current one is, I low-key miss mid in late 2023. Those times were honestly peak, I'm not gonna lie. Because I was just a happy little boy who just made some funny videos for his channel. And you just had a grand old time, you know what I mean? And I didn't really have to think about much when it came to, like, really, like, focusing on specific episodes where I could just make an episode. Like, I could literally make a full video in, like, 1 or 2 days. I could take a day to, like, plan everything out, set up saves, and then the next day record everything. It was that easy. And it was... I miss mid late 2023. It was fire. R.I.P. Anyway. A video on the old universe, how like the new Shadow guy got there to the new universe and happened to everybody else that was left. Okay, so that technically is going to be a thing, pretty much, because of it'll most likely be the second episode of the AU, or Phase 2. Second episode of Phase 2. Once I get episode 1 out of the way, you'll see. You'll see what I mean. Phase 2 episode 2 will be fun. Because Phase 1 episode 1, Phase 2 episode 1 is a Chloe focus. It's a Chloe focus, and I will say this. Yes, we are going to see Jasmine, Antonio, Toy Foxy. Yes, we're going to see them in the episode. We will. I can tell you that. So episode 1 is going to be Chloe focused. And then episode 2 will be focused on another character. Anyway, how do you focus on making Gmod videos? To be honest, I don't know. I just kinda... Once I start recording, I'm able to get it done faster, I feel like. Usually, at least. In this case, not really, because I keep redoing the beginning, like, over and over and over, and I end up wasting, like, hours of time just doing, like, the same 10 minutes over and over again. But usually, once I start recording, the rest just kinda takes off from there. But there are a lot of times where I'm like trying to figure out how I want to do something and I end up just getting distracted and thinking of something else. That happens all the time. I always do that. But there are times where I guess I'm just able to focus. I don't know. I can. My other focus is just SFM content, which I actually haven't really animated that much lately, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I started animating something for a random song that I started liking again after like years, and then I think that's mostly it. I can't remember the last thing I animated. A time when time traveling Foxy was alive and he traveled to the present universe. Well, like, okay, so like with time traveling Foxy, I feel like there is like the slimmest possible chance that he'd come back. There's like the slimmest chance. But yeah, very slim, because more than likely he's not gonna come back. Hear me out, X-Men 723. What? You mean like hear out his content? I mean like, I haven't seen his content in like a long time, so Wizard, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? No. Yeah, like, cause that's the thing, cause that's mainly just kind of why I miss late 2023, because it was so fire. I mean, like, especially with like, sure, the AU episodes weren't as like really focused on as like I focus on the new ones, but I still, oh my god, my words. I still miss that time period because of how fun it was. It was, like, genuinely really fun. I mean, I am having fun with, like, making this AU, but it wasn't nearly as time-consuming back then. And I had, like, you know, and I was able to get videos out very frequently. And because I didn't focus on anything else. That was, like, one of the only things I focused on besides IRL stuff. Like, IRL stuff, YouTube. That was my two things. Only two things. Like, I didn't really play that many games. Like, back in, like, I don't think I actually started getting games besides, like, FNAF stuff until, like, late 2024. That was probably when I actually started getting games on my PC and stuff. Like, here, hang on. Don't mind me, I'm just gonna throw this back up real quick. Because, yeah, because now I got, like, way more games than I had in, like, 2023. Like, it was kind of sad, like, how little I had on my desktop in 2023 in terms of games. I only had, like, Gary's Mod and a couple of FNAF games, I think. We'll be Tony summon Bill Cipher to help him. That would be hilarious. Lost from that series says reminds me of another series that has a really similar name. Yeah, that's what it was based off of. Five Lost Nights at Freddy's. That was back when I was still, like, in love with that series, and I decided to make my own version of it because I really wanted to. I was, like, obsessed with that storyline. I don't know why, something about Five Lost Nights at Freddy's just always appealed to me, and I loved it. I'm currently working on one of my AU episodes. I'm going to come up with a plot to my Season 3 villain. Alright, well, I wish you luck with that. Someday I may make my own Gmod FNAF videos, maybe someday, but I am still thinking about it. Alright, well, that will be very interesting if you do end up doing that. After the 11th episode, it didn't really make sense. I guess I can see that. It's obviously you get bored of Gmod FNAF fast. Well, yeah, like, cause hi Modern. Member for 25 months? God dang. Bro was a homie. But, because, let me look at something here, actually, I could take the slideshow back off. But, because, yeah, because in 2023, and before that, like, dude, you have no idea how much I loved making a lot of these episodes. Dude, I will tell you this right now. Freddy finding his friends was probably one of the most... This is not right grammar, hang on. It's probably not the most fun, but it's up there. But I'm just gonna say, making these episodes was so freaking fun. Oh my god. Dude. After the New Year special, like, Freddy finds Fredmer and Spring Bonnie, Freddy finds the Endos, Freddy finds Crab Baby and Michael Afton, Freddy finds the Stars animatronics, Freddy finds the Withered animatronics, Freddy finds Glenmark Foxy and Glenmark Mangle, Freddy finds Glenmark Freddy and Glenmark Chica, Freddy finds Bonnie and Glenmark Bonnie, Freddy finds they're Foxy and Antonio, Freddy finds Shadow Freddy and Golden Freddy, Freddy finds Foxy and Roxanne, Freddy finds Chica, Freddy finds Bonnie. Whew. Anyway, all of those were so fun. They were extremely fun to make. they were probably the most fun. I don't know if I'd say the most fun I had recording something, but it's definitely up there. These episodes were, like, really fun. Also, thank you, Otis50, for the $10 super chat. Thank you. I'd really appreciate it. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. But, yeah, what was I saying? Oh, right. So, the thing with that is that, with, like, Freddy finding his friends, like I said, easily one of the top 10, like, recordings for me, like, throwing it all together, because there was a lot of videos back in the day I had a lot of fun recording, like, way more than you'd think. Freddy finding his friends is easily up there. It's easily up there. Because you are now allowed to have fun. Yeah, I know. I know. I know. Fun isn't allowed here. I'm sorry. I completely forgot. Thank you for reminding me, Bond. I'll make sure I remember that. Anyway. Freddy finds Glenmark Fox and Glenmark Mangle. Easily best episode of the Freddy finds his friends episodes. Like, they were, my god, they were so fun to make. I know I said that so many times, but I'm not lying. It was extremely fun. The fight was fun to make, but I was also kind of rushing because a friend was waiting on me to finish it because he was trying to hang out with me, and I was like, hang on, just let me finish this. And I was like, also, once I was like halfway through, I think I slowly started to get like sick a little bit. Or I wasn't that sick, but I was like a little sick to where you might be able to hear a difference in my voice. But I still locked in. The fight was like, it was an episode. Some dark corner. Example of that. You sit in a dark corner for. Anyway, oh, randomness with friends, yo. I remember that video so well because I remember I was in a call with like a chunk of people, and I was like, yo guys, hear me out. What if we just recorded a video of us doing like absolutely random stuff? And they were all like, yeah, let's do it. So I don't think I talk to a lot of the people that were in that video anymore. I think the only one I still talk to this day is like Modern Jack, because he was in there. And well, GJ, I think GJ Gaming XD was also in there, I think. But yeah, but the other people in there I don't really talk to that much anymore. But if I did another randomness with friends, there would definitely be a lot of different people. The only person you'd probably see in there that you remember is like Modern Jack. Everyone else would be different. Yes, Modern, you are still here, and we are grateful for that. We are glad you make an appearance like every single time. Dude, I remember back in like 2023 when it was like by law you had to appear and stream at least one time. Bro, it was so funny. Oh my god, I remember that one time where someone, like, donated, like, a frick ton of money, and I was just, like, losing my mind. I remember flipping out. I, like, turned on my face cam. I was, like, doing, like, laps around my room, and I remember, like, throwing stuff. I'm like, what the frick? What? It was wild. It was some wild times. I think it was the most I've ever gotten donated by one person in a single stream. Because before that, X-Man was the biggest person, or the biggest, like, donation from one person in one stream. But they beat him. They beat him, like, I think, $1. they beat him. Yeah, but that stream was, like, a year after that, though. So, why'd you hate me in 2024? What I do? What I do? Anyway. And still do? Oh, wild. Yeah, I hate you too, man. Glad we feel mutual. Put her down, please put her down. Okay. Yeah, I just listened to her. I don't know why she had to do that, honestly. It was, like, kind of messed up. Loki, I love the fact that we haven't really, the only thing we've done in the stream is just yap about random stuff, and to be honest, I'm all for it. I like just talking about random stuff. It makes it a lot more fun whenever, like, chat, because whenever chat is more active, I have more questions to answer, and I love answering questions. But yeah, oh my god. Dude. Oh my god, the purple spring trap flipping me off, I remember that. Other friends dislike me. Yeah, that was the thing for a while. It probably still is. Where certain people just don't like me. Typically it's because of just other people, which I don't understand, but I don't know. Other times it's just because. Or maybe they have reasons, I don't know. Frankly, I don't care. People are gonna hate you no matter what. It's just kind of how it works. No matter what you do, no matter what you try, at least somebody is gonna hate you at some point. So just don't try so hard to be liked. Just be you, man. Anyway. Doing Gary's mod because I feel like you don't, because I remember when you used to release videos like every day, at least once every 3 days. It's not that I don't like doing Gary's mod anymore, it's that I've found other things that I like to do at the same time. So, like I said, back then, the only 2 things I did was my IRL stuff and YouTube, aka Gary's mod. The only 2 things I really did. And I recorded those things like crazy. But then, well, yeah, also getting older, more responsibility, that too. But also because early mid 2024 was also the time period where I started talking to a lot more people, and I started getting more, like, I started talking to a lot more people than I, like, originally knew, because I had a lot, like, I didn't have nearly as many friends back in, like, 2023 as I do now. Not nearly as many. It's not even close. But yeah, and then, and a lot of the ones I had back then, I haven't even talked to for like a year. But so I started talking to people a lot more often, so I'd spend my time doing that. And also, a lot of them introduced me to games I've never played before, so I started playing games more often. And yeah, that's mostly where that comes from. It's because I've just gotten a lot more busy with, like, well, obviously IRL stuff has become more on my, like, to-do list, but also because I got into, like, other games, and I started also animating. Oh my god, how did I forget about that? Animating is another really, really big one. But in terms of Gmod, I definitely enjoyed it a lot more back then than I'd say I do now. Especially because Gary's mod, I feel like, is being more stupid now, because I swear there's times where, like, I pick something up with the physics gun and I don't even let go of it. My finger stays on that mouse, and then it still just drops whatever I'm holding. It's dumb now. Or ragdolls will just randomly start spazzing out for, like, no reason. Like, and they didn't do that back then. At least not that I remember. Like, it was so weird. Also, thank you, Otis50, for the $2. Thank you. Thank you. That one of the other Glenmark scope, and I wanted to use that less buggy Glenmark Mangle model. Oh my god, that model getting removed was the only reason why Glenmark Mangle didn't show up in this AU. That was the only reason. If that model was still here, Glenmark Mangle would still be here. She would. But nope. It's like the situation with Twisted Wolf, where, like, originally he was supposed to still be there, but then his model got removed, and that's why he disappeared for, like, a very long time. Your Gmod FNAF content is inspiring. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, Father Bench. Like, Gmod was, like I said, Gmod was definitely a lot more fun back then, because I focused on it a lot more than I do now. And, like, once I have something figured out with an episode, I can, like, sit myself down and be like, okay, what do I want to do for the plot specifically of this specific episode? And I'm like, okay, so I want this to be a part of the episode. I want this to be a part of the episode. And I'll just come up with sections of the episode, and I'll be like, okay, now let's start thinking about some more specific details. Which usually I don't get into really specifics until, like, I'm actually trying to record it, because improvising is something I do a lot. Even now, I still do it. Because it's just how I do it. My content makes me want to block you. Same, bro, same. Anyway. But, it was it was a lot more fun back then. But I also just don't want to just stop without finishing this story, because one, I feel like I'm gonna regret it and feel stupid after doing that, and two, I can't do that to y'all. I can't end it again for, like, the 4th time because I don't want to do it anymore. Because I still got some motivation to keep Gmod going. I still got the motivation. Because you guys literally are my motivation. You guys, like, are my motivation for doing Gmod. My motivation is because every time I'm recording or working on it, I always think of, you know, whenever the video comes out and y'all's reaction to it. It had the physics gun out. Yeah, the good old days. Big Top. I don't know much of anything about Secret of the Mimic, I'm not gonna lie. I never played it, and I barely watched gameplay of it. I watched a little bit of gameplay on it, but not that much. I know some of the characters' names, but yeah, that's pretty much it. So I probably won't do anything with like Secret of the Mimic stuff. Maybe. Oh my god. Oh, my nose. Why is my nose so, like, randomly stuffy? I'm not sick. I don't know why. My throat keeps, like, clogging, and it's getting on my nerves. I feel like that only specifically happens when I'm streaming. I swear to God, almost every time I've streamed, that always happens. And then it's like it just goes away after. It's so annoying. Also, to answer your question, no. No, I don't. I need to figure out what I'm doing about this, because this is gonna get on my nerves. Will you make an AU like Special Strike, a Special Strike Rebellion? Probably not. Because when it comes down to, like, what my AU is inspired from, most of it is just apocalyptic type shows and movies. Wait, hang on, let me see what you're talking about. Oh! That was a joke. That was a very, that was a while ago. So, long time ago, I made a collab with, one of my, friends at the time, and we made a collab of their versions of Freddy and Friends meeting mine, because I watched a couple episodes of their AU, and I was like, yeah, actually, this is kind of fire. I want to collab. And they're like, you know what, alright, bet. And, we did. And we did that. We uploaded it. And then one of the top comments, with no context, was, when's the wedding? No context. They just straight up asked that, and we're like, what the frick? And then next thing you know, almost everybody is pinging me and sending me that screenshot and saying, yeah, when is it? And then that became like a whole thing for like months. Eventually it did die off and go away, but like that was an interesting couple of months. Gmod content is something for me where like, no, modern, no, we're not bringing that back. We are not bringing that back. I don't think the comment's there anymore, though, on that video. I don't think it is. But, yeah. But the thing with Gmod content for me is that it was definitely a lot more entertaining back then. Because the thing is that I personally never really watched much Gmod content. Like, to be honest, I didn't watch any Gmod content, like, almost at all, besides my own, in the past, like, probably, like, 2 years. Maybe that's stretching it, I don't know. I'm gonna say 1 year. At least a year. I've watched barely, I'm not saying none at all, but barely any Gmod content. Freddy and Bonnie kissing scene. I'll probably be able to fit that in somewhere. Anyway. What is the Q&A for the fast word ban? The Q&A? I have no clue. Okay. As far as I'm concerned, I think it got canceled. No. Oh my god, my nose. Will Mangle return? Oh, wait, oh. Why did I blank on that? Mangle returning? Well, I mean, the OG toys were more of like a, old AU thing. More videos more frequently. Once I'm able to finally figure out the plot of this one completely, because it's only the beginning portion that I can't wrap my finger around. But once I manage to do that, it'll be smooth sailing from there. Cry in the corner. I love doing that. I'm just kidding. Anyway. What time is it? Oh god, back. It's already been almost 2 hours? What the frick? Anyway. Have I really been yapping that long? Then again, I can yap for like I could yap for an entire freaking day if you let me. Anyway, alright, bye! See ya! Step on up. Okay. Don't hurt me. But I don't really care for that song that much. It's okay. But I just don't think I'd animate it. You know, maybe that opinion could change, maybe. You never know. But as of right now, I'm not gonna lie, I don't really like that song. It's okay, but it's not that great in my opinion. It's not my type of music. Or my type of song, I guess, I don't know. Not my cup of tea. There you go. Oh. Guys! I'm scared. Anyway. Anyway. Can I open my saves list? Yeah, we fine. But yeah, there's not really anything spoiling in here, because this is all trailer stuff. And I think this is all stuff I set up for episode-related purposes. Fun fact, the beginning of the episode, or Phase 2 Episode 1 was going to be way different than what I'm trying to do right now. Originally, when I first started recording it, it was going to start where the last episode left off, where those two, like, Freddy and Bonnie looking characters looking around in like that area and like they get killed. So that was where the episode was going to begin, and then Chloe ends up running off. Anyway, let's talk about that purple mangle with the wings. You know what? Fine. We can talk about it. Let me find her. Who's this? Oh, that is not her. Well, I mean, I knew that wasn't her, but huh? You know, I'll let you chill. You can chill. I think it's her. Oh, yeah, it's her. So, I guess we could talk about her. So, obviously, this is a brand new character. We have never ever seen them before. Now, just taking like one look at them, what do you think they are? Because as we all know, like, there is a power ranking system in different creatures. So I'm gonna say this right now. Bottom of the bottom is humans. You know, obviously. You know, they suck. And then one rank above that would be animatronics, because they can still die from, like, similar things that humans can. Like, obviously they can die from, like, you know, being stabbed or shot, whatever. But, like, but there's also things that they don't die from, like old age. Animatronics don't die from old age. But, and they're also a lot stronger because they're, you know, animatronics at the end of the day. But, after that would be a section I call raw power, which is basically animatronics, but given power. Like Golden Freddy, Shadow Bonnie from the old AU, Time Traveling Foxy, you know what I mean? Like, all those guys. They're like raw power. Then after them would be True Shadows. True Shadows are those creatures that are basically always like Shadow Bonnie looking style. Like, where they're almost all of them are just a complete shadow, and they got just like white pupils and like glowing white teeth, and like, you know what I mean? Those. Like the Shadow Toy Freddy with Assassin's Ring Bonnie right now. That's a True Shadow. So they are formed from literal darkness. But yeah, they are kind of like, I don't know how to explain them, but that's pretty much what they are. Anyway, so after them would be leaders, which would be people like Oblivion, QXR, the Princess, Shadow Candy, and now Golden Foxy. You know, I'll even spawn him in, because why not? Once I can remember where the freckle he is. There he is. But now Golden Foxy is on that same level. So if y'all don't know, Golden Foxy is actually the new leader for the galaxy that the final stand took place in. He is the new leader of that one. Anyway, so basically, also, if y'all need help remembering who I'm even talking about, is he in here? Can I just try to pull him out from here? Dang it, I can't. That's fine. I'll just look up Foxy and wait for something to pop up. Anyway, how'd you make the eyes look different? A lot of bone merging. A lot of this is just bone merging. Okay? And, okay, how about this? I can tell you their name. Their name is Nova. N-O-V-A. Nova. That's their name. Learn largest super chat I've ever had. I don't remember the exact number, but I just remember it being like a little over 200. It wasn't an all-in-one, it was like multiple throughout the stream. But it was the most one person donated in one stream. Anyway. Nova's dumb name. Thanks. We're a girl. It's a girl. But yeah, so... Anyway, so back to this. So Golden Foxy, Oblivion, QXR, Shadow Candy, Princess, leaders, okay? And then there is one more rank above them. And that is where we'll see people like I Above and Old Man Consequences fall in. Which is the gods. Because I Above, obviously, main person, watches over everything, whatever, you know, main dude. Old Man Consequences watches over the sinners, makes sure that, you know, they stay down there, doesn't let them escape. Yeah, he controls the sinners, and people who die go down there, but yeah. Why did QXR come near AU? Because one fateful day in September 2022, a friend of mine, MLG Lefty Wars, sent a Gmod poster of his little character QXR, and I thought it was extremely cool, and I asked him if I could use that character. And he let me and explained to me the lore of QXR and all these different characters he had. And that's where QXR started coming into my AU. Anyway, but... So... Let me pull out some other people. Oh my god, what the frick? What is this? Oh, that's the Frost Foxy, okay. Here he is. I was trying to find him. So, most of you probably remember Golden Foxy looking like this. This is the same dude. Alright, he just got an upgrade. But yeah, you might remember him like that. Anyway. Yeah, I knew QXR was from Special Strike, but, MLG's version of him was, like... Obviously, the models weren't his, but, like, the character itself was kind of his idea because it was his own version, and gave him his own, like, personality and how he worked, and his own, like, backstory and everything. But yeah. Anyway, so... They basically fall in a line where you'll understand what they are soon, because you will see them. In regards to Golden Foxy, you will see them, and you'll understand what they are and who they are. But yeah. Alright? Yeah, I remember the couples counseling joke. I remember that. I actually do remember that very well, honestly. My brain works like that, where I'll just remember random things for, like, no reason. I mean, yeah, because I guess it kinda did look like that. Obviously, there's, like, a reason why Rose is even, like, hanging out with Golden Foxy in the first place. Like, there's a reason. You know, because obviously we saw in the trailer, Golden Foxy was looking at some clearly dead True Shadow, and that's when he encounters Rose. So, yeah. Can Golden Foxy get... Oh my god. Y'all with your questions, man. No, he cannot. Anyway. Make it a canon joke. I could. Wait, here, hang on. Once I find her. That's the one from the trailer. Why do I still have that as a dupe? That's literally just the dupe from the trailer. Oh my god, lag, lag, lag. Lag, lag. Okay. Phew! Phew! I don't know why... Hang on. Putting your stuff back. Oh, wait, oh, right. I think this is the dupe from, Fight or Flight. I think that's why. Yeah, because wasn't she, like, sleeping? Yeah, that's why. That's why. Anyway, but it would be kind of funny if, like, they show up and, like, they make, like, a counseling joke or something, like, or something. I guess that would be kind of funny. But that'll come sooner or later. As of right now, we gotta focus on the first episode with Chloe, then we can get to that other stuff, alright? Because I will say this. I can list some episodes that will more than definitely be focused episodes. Obviously, one being with like Chloe and like reuniting with the people's Jasmine, Antonio, Toy Foxy, and all that drama. Then, my throat almost broke there. Anyway, then there will be an episode focused on like Golden Foxy and all that, and obviously Rose will be involved in that too. And then obviously there'll be other episodes as well. So I will say this, as if right now, because remember my mind does change on things, but as of right now, there's supposed to be an episode focused on all what I just mentioned, plus an episode focused on Scarlet, an episode focused on Ennard and B. Okay. And there's going to be an episode focused on Assassin's Ring Bonnie's origin story. And there's even going to be episodes relating to characters like The Eye Above, All My Consequences a little bit, and even a specific somebody that we see from time and time again, but are never fully identified. Did the Mimic get involved in this? I think the Mimic only appeared in the old AU for like an episode or two. But I think it was the Mimic attacks the pizzeria or something. Old man Henry. So, we all remember that one dude who talked to Oblivion in the beginning, right? We remember the dude who convinced Oblivion into the path that he chose, or started him down that path. The dude who also got glitch trapped down the path he went on in the old AU. And the one who appeared in that flashback with Golden Foxy in the final stand. We see him from time and time again, but yeah, we never actually understand why he's there and what he is. We never understand. Now, you will understand what he is, and you will understand what he's doing, and it's going to be very interesting. So, what I can say is you can basically treat this like an A and B plot. So, how I'd put it is the A plot is like Chloe and the others in like against Assassin Spring Bonnie, that and his people, that's kind of like the A plot. And then the B plot would be more of the Golden Foxy side of things. With that, gonna get some eye above, and we're gonna finally see what that shadow is. Did he convince Assassin Spring Bonnie to go down that path? Not really. That is a good question, and I like the idea of that, but it was more of, how can I put this? I want to say it was more of Nightmare Yawn. Which is a very interesting way of putting it, but that's more of what it is. Also, I saw this message in the chat, but I think I forgot to read it out loud. But yeah, Emmerich calling the Shadow Joshua epic. But yeah, that is a very interesting question, but he did not exactly have anything to do with Assassin Spring Bonnie particularly, per se. I mean, maybe he did. Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe. I love her confusing y'all. Anyway. But, so the AU is definitely gonna be interesting after this. Like, once we start getting into Phase 2, and we start getting a couple episodes in, it's definitely gonna get really interesting. And the finale? Ooh! Ooh. I've thought about the finale so many times, and ooh. I can just imagine it. Oh, it's gonna be fire. Now, obviously, like, stuff like action isn't probably going to be as great as I'd hope because it's Gmod. So bear with me with action, okay? Obviously, action, there needs to be at least a little action in every story, but there's not much you can really do with specifically Gmod, and I'm not skilled enough to do full-on fight scenes in SFM. So, in fact, I feel like even with very skilled animators, that would be a very tough thing to do. So, bear with me when it comes to, like, action in the later episodes, but everything else, I will try to make it as perfect as I can for y'all. Because I want to send my AU off on a good note. Now, there is possibilities of maybe some spin-off stuff happening after, of just randomness, why not? But in terms of the storyline, I don't think it, like, the canon storyline will go anywhere past the finale of what's to come ahead. The finale of Phase 2 is basically just going to be everything being wrapped up in a little bow, and then maybe there'll be some spin-off stuff after that. But as of right now, nothing additional would happen after that, okay? Now, I'm hoping not everyone leaves after that, and y'all still stick around for other stuff I may do. Because I like having you guys around. You guys are fun. But, yeah, I'm just hoping y'all still stick around. You know? Just to, you know, be along the ride for whatever comes next after. Because, who knows? Anything could happen after the AU's over. Anything. What happened to MLG Lefty Wars? He's still around. I don't think he does Gmod anymore. I don't talk to him that much, but he does appear every now and then. I've talked to him a little bit, but not that much. Ever since, like, the final stands, I haven't really talked to him about anything, like, Gmod or AU related. Because, like, this whole AU is mostly just, like, me, like, trying to do this on my own. Like, I will say this. I did get a lot of ideas from people that actually changed the plotline of, like, Let the Games Begin. One of my friends suggested, like, since it's called Let the Games Begin, maybe have them actually play, like, a literal game with them. And that's where we got the idea of, like, a hide-and-seek type-esque theme to the video. But besides that, most of the plot has mostly just been me, like, trying to figure out things on my own. Bringing it back, the couples counseling go. If you use it, I expect the description to thank you for it. If that does happen, you know, I might put a little something for you. I haven't even checked how many people are actually even still here. 9? Yeah, that sounds about right. Honestly, I thought that was going to be less. Because y'all are just here just to hear me out. Will you do a What If series? Okay, so, like, the What If series has been, like, an idea going along for the past, like, 2.5 years, I think. I'm pretty sure that idea started in, like, what was it, like, early 2023? Mid-2023? One of those two. It was somewhere in, like, early mid-2023 when that idea first started floating around. And I always said I'll probably do it eventually, and I never ended up doing it because, like, it always skips my mind every time. Now, I did technically do an episode, which was the What If Foxy and Roxanne Never Met, but I could definitely do more What If episodes after the AU. I could definitely do more. And it would be funny if, like, the series consisted of, like, me legitimately, I don't know if I'm saying that right, but legitimately just being in the videos myself, and I'm the one who's, like, messing with the timeline to make the What If timeline, like how I did in the Foxy and Roxanne. Like, here, hang on. Let me find my boy. You got this, Carismon. You got this. You got this. Thank you. But yeah, like, you don't need the staff. There we go. But it'd be funny if, like, this guy just, like, appeared all the time and was the one who's messing with the timeline to make it a What If timeline. Because I like that idea. Just him just messing around with everything. What if with time traveling Foxy from the past stumbles upon Golden Foxy? Oh, what if time traveling Foxy met Golden Foxy? That'd be very interesting. I'll say that. That'd be very interesting. There'll probably be other ones, like a big one being what if Oblivion won? Or stuff like that. You know what? Why don't y'all give me a bunch of, like, ideas for what if stuff with my AU and other things. What's the next FNAF save? Oh my god. Have y'all been making saves? Because I'm not. It's been a while since I looked at them. It's been a while. Because if you have, then you actually hang on. Let me look at something. Let me look at the last saves episode. I swear to God. Come on, come on, come on, come on, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Come on, YouTube. YouTube. Oh my god, you're killing me. It is running, like, extremely slow. Pause, 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 pause. Bro, this has got to be the slowest I've ever seen anything run on YouTube. Holy frick. Anyway. Bro, stop it. I keep pausing it. It keeps trying to play. Stop. Anyway. I'm trying to... Bro. Okay, finally. Holy frick. I knew it was going to try playing an ad. So I was trying to wait for that ad to appear so I could pause it. What the... That is not what I clicked on. What? What the heck? That is literally not what I clicked on at all. Okay, never mind. It's messing with me. Okay, so for some reason, a link I put in the description brings me to something that is not what the link is. It's literally just trolling me. Alright, so I'm gonna take a look. So here, what I can do, since I'm such a nice guy, what I can do is I can start a new game. And y'all are gonna get flashbang, sorry about that. I think it's in favorites. Here it is. No. This one. Normal nighttime, not extra, just straight up nighttime, okay. I'm gonna start my game. And I'll see what the latest saves were. And maybe I'll make another one, because I probably... Do not spam. Don't do it. Well, then figured a way to time travel. And goes into special strength. Huh. Goes back to 2022. That'd be interesting. Past Freddy friends meet their future selves. Or past Freddy meets future Freddy or something. I don't know. But like, the old AU meets the new AU or something. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of things I could definitely do. Nah, wait, hang on, guys, hear me out. What if Foxy Boy 2020? What if? Oh my English. What if 2023 Foxy Boy met 2025 Foxy Boy? Hear me out. That'd be a very interesting thing. I'll tell you this right now, if 2023 met me now, that would be a very interesting interaction. Foxy Boy versus Oblivion, bro, that would be fire. Foxboy 2023, dang, you slacking. Yeah, pretty much. It's like, you don't upload every single day? What's wrong with you? You take... You do things that aren't working on videos? Get out of here. Loki, I've said this many times, and I'm gonna say it again. I miss 2023, man. I'd go back to 2023. It was so fire. It was like probably the most fire year for me, I feel like. I loved that year. because that was also when my channel was at its, like, peak, because it went through a lot of bumps throughout that year, because early 2023 it was still, like, relatively low, because, like, how my channel worked was that for a while it was low, and then in 2022 it went skyrocketing, and then late 2022 it started diminishing, and then in early 2023 it was the same thing. Mid 2023 it picked back up a lot, and then it kind of sort of kept that pace throughout 2023, because not only was like all some of it because of Ruin, but also from the FNAF movie stuff. So like that's where like views came from, but like, and you know, like bringing people in, but like I also feel like my videos were just a lot of fun back then. Obviously they're a lot better now in terms of like quality, but I miss those times. I would go back. Oh hey, slow down. Alright, so after this, so after I do this real fast, I might end stream, because it's been 2.5 hours and I low-key don't want to stream all night. So, yeah. Why does stuff take so long to load? I don't know. Probably because of the amount of add-ons I have. I don't know if that has something to do with it. Maybe it does. Don't know. But anyway. No, saves. Hang on, actually. Let me look at this real fast. You know what? You get to see a slideshow real fast, because I actually have to look at something. Hang on. I feel like there's been a couple new saves, so maybe I could make another episode. I mean, it'd be epic if y'all made some more saves, you know? And also, I think Emmerich earlier said that they made a save, but it didn't go public. Chances are, I'm gonna assume it's saying hidden for you right now. That happened to me when I first started trying making saves and putting them out. I didn't know how to fix that, but someone showed me. You just gotta change the setting to public, which, if you look around on the page of the save, there should be like 3 bars, like, I think they're like bluish. There should be like 3 bars somewhere. And if you click on them, it should have the settings for visibility. Alright, see ya, Father Bench. I remember when I first got Gary's mod and I didn't understand, and for like at least a couple months I didn't understand how to rotate things. You know, like how, here, let me pull out, oh wait, well, I was about to go to my add-ons, but then I realized I put like everything right here to make it more convenient for me. But let's pull out this guy since we haven't seen him in a while. Oh my Gary's mod. Okay. Anyway, so like, you know how like when you rotate things you can do that? Well, I didn't know how to do that back then, so you know what I did? I did that. Wanted to make him face this way, but now I want him to face the other way, so I did that. Because I didn't understand you could just do this. I didn't know how to do that. And eventually I found a video called How to Rotate Objects in Gmod, and that changed me. Anyway. But I didn't even mean to T-spawn him, but whatever. Anyway, but yeah, so there could be a potential another saves video soon. Like, yeah, I mean, I guess one of the reasons why I mostly missed 2023 was because I was able to easily be on the frickin' grind. And I was so freaking happy doing it too. I was like, I don't think I was ever burnt out. I don't think I ever was. I think I was just vibing. Because I didn't have to make the videos that complex. Because my audience at the time was perfectly happy with what I was making, so that meant I was happy with it. As long as I knew they were happy, that made me happy. I feel like that's always kind of how it's been. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, like, yeah, a lot of people are better at Gmod than me. I just do what I want to do and finish what I feel like I need to finish and then move on. Because I don't know what's gonna happen. I have no clue. Like, that's the scary thing about the future. I have no clue what's gonna happen. After the AU, who knows? Maybe I'll switch over to, like, more gaming related stuff. Take more time with animation since I don't have to worry about Gmod anymore. And then, maybe do some other stuff. Like, you never know. And it's just like, it opens doors for like so many possibilities. And I'm just hoping at least some of you stay for that bumpy ride. Because I mean, you stayed for this long, so I'm hoping you continue. Don't abandon me. Yeah, since, because obviously a lot of my fan base is gone. Thanks to SFM era. And when I say SFM era, I mean like mid 2024, because that's when I was like uploading a lot of SFM to my channel. Like Map Has Golden Freddy, that was a big one. And also I saw like the Map Had His Toy Bonnie trend happening now, which doesn't surprise me, but yeah. But yeah, who knows? A lot of things can happen, and yeah. I've given some thought about what the future is probably gonna look like after the AU. But as of right now, I just don't really focus on it too much, and I'd rather just focus on what I'm doing now. You know, like with the AU and stuff. But yeah. It's very fun stuff. And yeah. And I'm glad to I'm glad I, you know, got Gmod in the first place, because if I didn't, I wouldn't, none of us would be here. Or at least none of us would be, you know, watching this, because I wouldn't be streaming, because I would have like no audience. Because before I did Gmod, I did reaction videos, and we do not talk about those dark times. Those times are gone, and I want it to stay that way. Maybe we'll do some facecam stuff as like time goes on, but as of right now, I'm just gonna stick with the format I got going. Anyway, so I think that pretty much wraps up the stream. Just felt like yapping to y'all for a few hours since I didn't know what else to do with my free time. So, yeah. Thank you all for checking in and chilling with me, yapping with me, and yeah. So that will be all for today's stream. I hope y'all have a great rest of your day/night, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye. See y'all in the future. Bye.